What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today we had a phenomenal day. It was a most excellent day. If you are essentially playing Fang, for those that are not, mid cap and small caps have been taking a major hit. Even I believe banks took a big hit today as well. Yeah, Bakes took a big hit. Most financials did. BA, I think, actually traded kind of flat today. Even trying to see here. Yep. Travel and leisure kind of played a little flat. One thing I did know today is that there are a lot of restaurants that are taking off, especially after the Chipotle earnings. They crushed it, and they've had, I actually scalped this today as one of my scalps I had today. But this massive move, I think people are looking for the fact that the restaurants are taking advantage, have taken advantage of the pandemic and everything, and are crushing earnings. So being said, next week we still have big tech, and we just had Snap earnings after the close of bell today, and they completely crushed it today. I think they beat expectations by like 10%. Yeah, they're at 73. They completely crushed it today. Absurd. This move in itself, your Twitters and Facebooks. Twitter kind of died off a little bit, but Facebook, they all just completely tore up today after that. A massive move by Snap. Now, being said, you still have Amazon. Amazon, I think, was pushing up a little bit after hours. Your shop has been continuing to push up. E-commerce has just been very dominant lately. Apple in itself had a bit of a push today. I did capture Apple's move today as well, up to this zone, and then I got out after that part. So I thought about re-entering, but I did not. Apple might be waiting until next week. I really want to see how that plays out. But the market in general, I've been kind of hesitant to swing stuff overnight. There's been a lot of news. I know there was an outage today. And so with that being said, we tried to sell off, but it was bought right back up, which is a good sign, because one thing I was kind of concerned about was if earnings was going to be a solid earnings this year, or if numbers were going to come out and we were just going to fall in because of forward guidance. But it seems like the pattern we're starting to see is forward guidance is actually very promising, and that's why we're seeing these massive moves like we're used to seeing, as before we weren't typically seeing that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon crushes earnings and possibly even hits 4K. Again, this is not financial advice, but I think forward guidance is going to be a lot better from this point on, at least for this year. I can possibly see that. Even in the next couple of years. Again, there's a lot of money in the system. There's a lot of money sitting on the sideline that could potentially go back out to other people. Again, we are still far from recovering. So being said, we have to see, right? We also have to remember we got the Fed next week as well. If they, again, start talking about tapering, you can sure to expect some kind of pullback. I don't think it's going to be dramatic. Tapering has been something that's been talked about quite a bit, and we've done some dramatic pullbacks because of it. But once they actually start doing that, again, I don't think it's not going to happen. Powell's already said it's not going to happen until late next year, and he keeps pushing it back because people are still having. The biggest thing is that a lot of people are not going back to work. People are starting to work for themselves. And typical scenarios like that is what's causing labor shortages and everything else. So being said, it's going to take a while to get us back to that normalcy that we knew before the pandemic. So being said, SPY in itself is still strong. We've gone pretty strong. We started bad during the week, but we've definitely come all the way back. All-time highs tomorrow. I could really see it. I didn't want to swing because we were getting too close, and there was a lot of what ifs kind of happening. So, but now seeing that social media has been kind of really killing it, I think tomorrow's going to be good. And I don't have a watch list in particular because of that fact. I think everything you should be looking at should be continuation of social media. Your Facebook, even Google completely crushed it after hours. It took off with everything else. So I'm looking for this continuation, but I don't want to, especially after seeing this move. I kind of figured that if Snap was going to make the dramatic move that it did, I didn't expect it to make this dramatic of a move, but I thought it would still push up. It absolutely crushed it, way above my expectations. But I figured it would at least pump up somewhat, and then that would essentially kind of pave the way for your other socials at that point. And I was expecting Facebook, if there was any kind of positivity with Snap, I was expecting Facebook to just pop overnight. But I wanted to see, so that gives us something to look at for tomorrow. So Facebook is definitely number one priority, and Snap tomorrow, looking for continuations on these. Yes, people are going to see selling, so be mindful of that. As soon as the market opens tomorrow, people will be taking profit, especially after this big of a move. If it doesn't already pull back by the morning, by pre-market. So being said, expect to sell off and then jump in and ride that up. I think Snap will make another big move and continue into tomorrow. So Facebook and definitely Snap tomorrow. And then again, next week you got bit earnings. So you got Tesla, which has actually struggled quite a bit lately. So I kind of wean more away from Tesla because of this until it breaks this range, which it is really consolidating really tight and wound tight. So when it does eventually make the move, you're not going to miss it, because it's going to, I think, explode from that point. And what it may need is earnings to be able to get it past that point. And the good thing is on Monday, if it does blow out of this and get past that 700, at that point you can jump in, and I think you'll have plenty of time, and it will run essentially all week from that point. So we're looking at good things. I expect some kind of pullback tomorrow because of the fact that I think there needs to be some kind of cooling off before going into one of the biggest earnings. Maybe we get it partially tomorrow. Maybe we get it more on Monday. Maybe we'll actually dip come Monday morning in preparation for the week. So ultimately, I'm trying to project what's going to happen in the next couple of days to try to make adjustments. So for any kind of dip, I'm looking to try to buy going into it. Yes, if tomorrow we hit all-time highs, I think we're good. I think there's nothing really dragging us down. I've talked about this a couple different times. We are living through a historical moment. So even chart work and stuff like that, you can't really predict what is going to happen because none of this has happened before. So we're kind of going unguarded, uncharted territory. So that's something to keep in mind and something to be mindful of. But play what is continuing, especially after earnings. That is one of the easiest things to do, is things that are crushing earnings. Play the continuation on those. And that's what's going to help you get through this. Again, I'm leaning more towards bigger movers, so I haven't really gotten to any of the mid cap or lower cap stocks as much. Try to pick up some stuff here and there, like Roblox is one I like. It does move well. NVIDIA, actually, I had a position in this. I did sell it this morning on a spike. I didn't get back into it. Chips, kind of wary about chips, and I know NVIDIA has been kind of struggling at this 200 mark to break back over it. So I'm looking for a dip on that. If it does dip, I'll be looking to grab leaps again on that. After the earnings, I'm expecting some kind of sell-off at that point. Next week and possibly the week after that, we might see some running, then we might see some stalling. Again, we do have the Fed next week, so they could say anything as well next week, and that can completely throw all my plans out the window. But again, when we are looking at tomorrow and into next week, we need to prep for next week. Tomorrow, essentially all socials. I know, again, Chipotle done really well. There's some other, Wing has done really well. Looking at some of these, if any of these pull back, look for earnings. I think Shake is another one. I think they got earnings coming up. I don't even know Shake's ticker, but no. But look at some restaurants. It might be something else to play, especially if Chipotle killed it. There might be other ones that are running just as hard. So cake, you got cheesecake. I don't know if cheesecake would do as well, but It might. Fast food and McDonald's might actually kill it. MCD. McDonald's has some massive moves. But I think stuff like your shakes and your wing and all that is definitely going to destroy earnings. So just keep that in mind. But that's pretty much what I got to manage risk. It is Friday. Don't force anything. And prep for the big week coming next week. And I'll see you guys this weekend. Later.